Hi everybody, it's LeeAnn. Today we're talking about what to do with those dried beans, lentils, barley, rice that you may have gotten from the food pantry. Okay, so today we've got some legumes and some grains that we're going to talk about. Some of these you may have received in your food pantry box, so we'll talk about how to use them. So let's start with the legumes. So we've got 3 different legumes here. These are red lentils. Then I have some pinto beans and some split peas. Now legumes are plants that have pods, and the seeds are taken out of those pods and dried. They could be canned as well, but they're great to be stored dry. They'll retain their freshness for up to a year. So dried beans come in a variety of different types of beans. These happen to be a pinto bean. So lend themselves very nicely to a lot of Mexican dishes. We've got a recipe in the resources for taking them right from a dry state and cooking them all day in a crock pot. And then you could use it in fajitas or quesadillas, burritos. You could use it in chili, make a Tex-Mex baked potato, turn them into refried beans or a bean dip. So a lot of options when you're using dried beans. Okay, so to soak your beans overnight, what you want to do is empty your beans into a large bowl and then cover them with water. What you're looking for is a ratio of like 1 cup beans to 2 cups of water. Okay, so we're going to leave this sit overnight. In the morning you'll have some beans or skins that are floating on the top. We'll just skim those off and drain it, and you'll be ready to start your recipe. So for right now, we're just going to cover it either with plastic wrap or other cover that you have and leave it sit overnight. Lentils come in 4 colors. Black, which is the most nutritious. They cook about 25 minutes. Brown lentils and green lentils are a firmer lentil. So the brown lentils lend themselves well for being put in main dishes, and the green lentils typically are used in a salad or side dishes. And then you've got the red lentils, which come in a array of colors from shades of orange, yellow to red. But these break down much easier, about 15 to 20 minutes, and they are very soft and can almost dissolve into your ingredients. So these are often used for soups. So you can actually microwave lentils. So if you receive those in your food pantry, you can microwave them or cook them on the stovetop, whichever you prefer. Legumes are a great source of fiber, plant-based protein, and low in fat. So they would be a great substitute for meat in a spaghetti or in tacos if you put it with some taco seasoning and some vegetables. For a meatless option for you. So with any of the legumes, what you're going to want to do is rinse them well under running water, just to get any dust or debris off of them. If you don't have a sieve, you definitely could use a bowl and soak them, and then use a slotted spoon or something to drain them. So this would be an example of what a stem may look like from one of the pots. And then these are dried split peas. So they are literally a pea that's cut in half, and then dried. They come in yellow or green color. So there's a recipe in our resource guide for a crock pot pea soup. Some of the grains that people have been getting in the food pantry are barley, and this looks a lot to me, I always think of like oatmeal, but it is a grain. It's actually considered a superfood because it's very low glycemic indexed. So I often like to use that for a side dish that I've included in the resource for a pecan barley. It comes in two forms, so you need to look at which form it is. This happens to be the quick cook barley that'll cook in 10 to 15 minutes. Otherwise, there's pearl barley, and that would need to be cooked about an hour. So the only real difference between the two is this is actually a steamed pearl barley, so it'll cook faster. And rice was the other thing that some people had questions on. So the difference between white rice and brown rice is the brown rice is the whole grain, where the white rice, the bran and the germ have been removed. So your wild rice is much darker. So these legumes can be stored in an airtight container for up to a year. You can make a big batch and keep it in the fridge 3 to 5 days and put them in a variety of different meals, or freeze smaller containers for another meal. If you're freezing them, you want to use them, best quality would be within 3 months of freezing.